We're here for the EDC and yet another brand new draft. After using Gouging Fire and Raging Bolt in previous seasons, it's about time that I use Walking Wake. And to partner at, I have got this draft. We're running it back once again with 𝙒𝘼𝙆𝙆𝙀. It's put in so much work for us in CMM. For the first time we're using Crocodile, at least this generation. And then we got our PPL core of Iron Crown, Enamorous Therian and Farigiraf. To partner that, it made sense to get some kind of sun mode, so we picked up Ninetales and Terra Hisuian Lilligant. I'm not entirely sure where they play into this draft, and I might end up swapping them out, but for now, we got them, and they can be a threat. And then we just lacked a few different pieces, so we picked up Rotom Wash, we picked up 𝙒𝘼𝙆𝙆𝙀 and Iron Thorns. There's a good mix of mons that I have used consistently in the past, and also some new ones that I'm hoping that I can make work. And with the top 20 to 25 mons going, Walking Wake looks like it might well be the best thing on the board, so I'm hoping that it's going to be able to put in the numbers this season. And with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get straight into our week 1 battle. Hope you enjoy. See you guys there. Wait, what? He has a Bronzong? Did I just not jot that down? There's a strong chance that I just didn't drop that down. I did not know he had a Bronzong. Okay, well that makes this game substantially more difficult. Okay. Half my mons now don't necessarily do as well in this matchup, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I did think it was weird he didn't have a he did have a steel type, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, yeah, no Thunderous. There is the Blastoise. Really wishing I had. I guess Drain Punch is still fine for the thingy, the Bronzong. He has Poison on Blastoise and Fire on Azelf. That was not a type on Blastoise I was necessarily expecting, but I think the plan stays the same. There is no Dougie, so I'll just lead off with my designated lead. Okay, well, I mean, this is not a lead I was expecting either, which is just, you know, certainly an interesting situation that I have found myself in. I could just EQ, because I think EQ to it KO's Bold. I'm in disarray right now. It doesn't to it KO Bold, but at least we'll be able to tell that it is Bold. I could also just set up a Hazard. Alternatively, I do have a couple of mons that can definitely switch in. Do I think that they're going to switch out? They might well do. Is this one actually more important now? No, really isn't. I'm just going to Spikes. As they're going to Yawn. Okay, well, I guess I'll switch out to Crook. Oh, that's not what I want to do at all. Yeah, Crook seems like a pretty solid mid-ground here. I just go for a knockoff. I got to try and get this Bronzong weakened at some point, because half my team can't deal with Bronzong. Half my team doesn't have moves for Bronzong, so it's a little bit problematic. Yeah, I think I can still probably endgame this with Walking Wake. Getting that spike up is just going to be generally very nice for me, so yeah. I have been absolutely thrown off by my own lack of comprehension of how docs work, which is worrying considering that's what I do. So 𝙒𝘼𝙆𝙆𝙀 comes in and it's not Boots, that's good to know. I will just go out into Enamorous. There's no Entei, so this mon is like almost entirely now dedicated to 𝙒𝘆𝙆𝙆𝙀. It would have been really, really good of me to have Mystical Fire on this set. However, I mean, it might be Heatproof, right? I've got something of a Sun team. Maybe it's Heatproof Bronzong. I actually don't know why you would bring it if it wasn't Heatproof. So maybe it's actually fine. Maybe after all of this, it just so happens to be Heatproof instead of Levitate, and all my ground moves can actually hit. But yeah, we'll bring in Enamorous. That is a fake out. I can't lie, not necessarily what I was expecting. I could probably test to see whether or not this Bronzong is actually Heatproof or Levitate. I'm also walled by his Azelf if he tears it, so that's fun. I don't think I really want to go for anything other than a Moonblast at this point though, because like the Clods could come in, but the Clods we've seen is Yawn, a relatively free switch out. So If Bronzong comes in, do I want to risk just going for the Earth Power? Miralax? Was that what led? That is what's led. Or what did initially lead. So I use Spadef. I want to say that might not be Spadef. Regardless, I'm just going to go out into Crown. Because there's no world in which you should click Earthquake here. And my hope is that I can just bring in Bronzong and start wearing away at the Bronzong. But yeah, I've not got a great deal that can Oko the Bronzong. So, a little bit unfortunate, really. Now, I assume it's going to set up a hazard. Yeah. Realistically, Stealth Rock is not a big deal, because I'm boots on the things that need to be boots. And I don't think you want this to get weakened at all. I could Tachyon, but realistically, I don't think there's too much of a downside for just clicking Psyshock. Because I can Psyshock into Volt Switch is pretty free here. Bronzong can come in, but I don't feel too intimidated by it. I think if Bronzong comes in and I'm able to Volt, I might just go out into my Walking Wake. But yeah, there's the Bronzong. Do you take Spikes? You do take Spike, you're not Levitate. Let's fucking go. Wink on spotted, some would say. Yeah, I'm just going to Volt. It's not leftovers as well, so that's somewhat interesting. I don't think this is a Terra Bronzong. No, it can't be, because there's Terra Blastoise and Terra Azelf. How much does my Crook take? It probably takes a lot from a Body Press, and it probably is going to be Body Press that comes out. I could continue trying to get hazards up. Like, by all means, you should not want a Heavy Slam. They're actually going to withdraw. They're just going to go straight back out. Don't know what that is. That is the Grimmsnarl. Okay. So yeah, just going to show that I'm not choice locked, but that's fine. That's definitely not Spadef as well. And I mean, I could go into Dogi, but I don't think that's the play right now. I think the better play is just to continuously bring you in. I think this time I will go for Earth Power. I mean, I could Calm Mind, right? Theoretically, I could. Stealth Rock, Yawn. One stab, maybe? On the Clodsire? Entirely possible that it's just the one stab. It's just the one stab, actually. But he's kind of shown not to have much to want to switch into this mon. Oh, Earth Power, why not? I'll get that tiny little bit of chip. And then this time I'll Moonblast. Mix it up a little bit. Because the dual screens will go up, but hopefully we can limit the amount of times that the dual screens do in fact go up. What is the immediate downside? I mean, I guess the immediate issue would be something like Azelf clicking Nasty Plot. I mean, Blastoise can't necessarily freely come in. Miralax comes in, that's just a Clodsire again, isn't it? Very, very slow progress, but progress nonetheless being made here. My lack of pivots is a little bit of a problem, I think, here. Might be a little bit of a problem. I also don't know whether or not this Mon can actually touch me. And there's part of me that really wants to just click Earth Power. You know what? We'll see. Because you probably Yawn. Yeah. You probably Yawn predicting the switch out. But this is just kind of seeing your own screens out. And I will... Like, there's no downside to me switching. That's the thing. Like, he hasn't set up anything other than rocks. And half my mons don't care about rocks. So I'm not too concerned about continuously switching. The only downside comes from, like, if he doubles on a turn. Which he could well do. I think there's, like, very little in terms of downside to him just going me and Xiao here, right? But he's gonna recover. Okay, well, something's getting knocked. I'm pretty happy just to knock something. There's only one ground immunity, I believe, that he's bought, and that's going to be the Azelf, which doesn't really want to take a hit from this. And the fact that there's Terra Fire, this mon theoretically should actually just be able to wall it. He actually just keeps us in. So no more lefties. Goes for another yawn. We can keep playing this game. I don't know where this will lead you, but it's not to a place that's going to be particularly helpful, I think, in the end game. I will just go out into my guy here, because there's just a lot of hazard chip racking up on his side eventually, and at some point we'll make some progress. So he's just going to withdraw. What's he going to go out into? Is it going to be Minx? I think we've seen that. We have indeed seen that. Now, the question becomes, do I want my boots knocked off, or do I want my assault vest knocked off? Maybe I could have the mirror herb knocked off. I don't know if that's all that beneficial to me. I could also have the Custap knocked. Like, there's almost definitely a knock coming. At some point soon I will have to just kind of bring you in on Clods and sub, because he's Yawn. He can't actually touch me, I don't think. So I think that might be the next time round I'll do that. Anyway, what do I want to get knocked? I feel like you... Nah, that's like an anti-lose con, so let's go ahead and just... Let's just go ahead and lose our boots. It's going to be a little bit annoying, but we'll do it. Goes for a fake out. Never mind. Okay, well, I think Moonblast is actually really free now. Because, firstly, I don't think that he's got anything that can damage this on his Clodsire. Just goes for the poison gem. Gets the poison, because, of course. Are you Roselli Berry? You're not. You're very Assault Vest, though. Very Assault Vest. Ah, no, they just had a light screen. What am I talking about? I might let this die and then just go into Dogi. Is this helpful for really anything else? Honestly, no. I don't think it is. If you hadn't got that poison, I think we lived too, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Like, this is only meant to check this Mon, so we'll just Moonblast. Maybe you overpredict and go for a knockoff or something like that, thinking like I'll preserve this. Because I could always just go out into my Iron Lad. My Iron Crown. Yeah, okay. And we're going to see... That's once again the Clodsire, isn't it? Does Earth Power knock it out from here? I don't know for sure. But I can keep this Mon. I'm going to keep my Mon for now. Because I feel like you've got to recover. And at that point, I'll sub. Like, I'll sub on what I assume will be a Yawn. He hasn't shown any attacking moves on this. So who can really say? And instead I can probably use Okidogi as the endgame win con. Actually just withdraws. Into Minx, that's... yeah, that's just you again. Close combat does 66 to 55. At +1, I would then just knock this out. So I'm just going to Dragon Dance. They're going to fake out. It's fine. Doesn't really affect anything. I still continue to have leftovers, so... and yeah, I'll Dragon Dance for the one time. Then knock off. Okay. Well, not having my lefties sucks a little bit, but... all in all, could definitely be worse. And I want to say from this range at +1, well, Dragon Rush would definitely kill you. Waterfall has a chance to kill you. Waterfall is 69 min if you're no bulk. So we just simply hit, right? Like, that's just how it is. We just simply hit. They are going to withdraw. Probably the Clodsire? No, that's the... okay. Should've just clicked Waterfall, I guess. My bad. I'll do it this time. Be a Reflector goes up, by all means. I know that Reflector's coming. But this should still do a decent amount of damage. Actually doesn't do a lot at all. Just having to think, like, your EV still, I think you can live a close combat from me and Xiao, so you might be my way of ending up, like, taking it out. Keeping the Custap around is always quite nice. I think it's just better for me to click Waterfall here. T-Waves. Well, that's a little bit annoying, isn't it? but we don't get fully powered. Love that one. Love that for me. In terms of things that revenge me, it's still a little bit difficult. It is still a little difficult for them to revenge. I will outspeed this still. If they go into Clod, they go into Clod. I just Dragon Rush after. Yeah, I'm going to just try and break through and mainly be in a position where I'm a little bit less concerned about the screens going up. So Walking Wake gets our first kill of the season. This has been a very slow, very, very slow start to the game, but the Bronzong definitely made me have to think about the start of the game a little bit differently. So the Yawn Clodsire pivoting me around also was a little bit annoying. So once again, in comes the 𝙒𝘼𝙆𝙀. I feel like the chances of me actually hitting my move here is somewhat slim. But I can kill with a Dragon Rush. So I'm going to go for it. I just fake out. I mean, I definitely can't hit the move if I can't move. So do I want to keep this, in fact? Because the Enamorus is dying no matter what. At least this could still throw off an attack, right? There's two mons that are still going to be slower, even though it's paralyzed. So yeah, I think it's probably better for me to now just let this mon go down. Like, you can just go for another close combat here. It's incredibly free. On the off chance they go out into something wild, I mean, I'll just Draining Kiss in case they miss the Poison Jab here somehow. If they go out to anything else, then I don't really mind too much. Yeah, they're just going to Poison Jab. That makes a lot of sense. So we've seen Fake Out, we've seen Knock Off, Poison Jab, and Close Combat. So we've seen the full moveset. Nothing can hit 𝙒𝘼𝙆𝙆𝙀. Like, literally nothing can hit 𝙒𝘼𝙆𝙆𝙆𝙆. So it's probably time. And I'm just going to go for the bulk up. He can knock me off if he wants to. It's not going to do a great deal of damage. It will mean that he can Shell Smash with his Blastoise, but at the same time, once this Reflect goes, we are in a position where we can start doing some things. And I might be able to just see out the game with my AV Mons towards the end. Like, they'll all live a hit from this 𝙒𝘼𝙆𝙀, and they can do a lot of damage. Like, the only one that won't want to be in against the 𝙒𝘼𝙆𝙀 is going to be the Crook. But Miralax, that is going to be the Clod, right? Sure is. Okay, so the screens are going to go here, because I'm just going to go ahead and Psychic Fangs and remove them. I land Terra Fairy on pretty much anything. So yeah, just Psychic Fangs to get rid of these screens, because I don't want to be Yawned either. And now he has no Reflect. He has Blastoise, Azelf. Azelf, I would probably have to hit a Gunk Shot. By probably, I mean, like, definitely have to hit a Gunk Shot. It will actually do a fuck ton of damage to me. If I Terra Fairy, I do make myself a little bit weaker to the Poison Jab from 𝙒𝘼𝙀𝙀. Currently, I do Wall It. Is that worth me taking into account here? Poison Jab would do 26% currently. It's Blastoise that comes in. I'm just going to Terra. And I'm going to go for... Part of me wants to go for the Gunk Shot, expecting him to outspeed, because he should outspeed. Would a +3... Hang on, that's... Would a +3 attack Drain Punch knock this out? Depends on his bulk. It would depend entirely on the bulk, but it's somewhat more reliable. So I'm gonna just go for it. Oh, it's just Terra Poison, isn't it? Maybe that was not the play. But if he does Terra here, we know that we're faster. No, he just surfs. Drain Punch does a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. And we get the Toxic Chain. Okay. The Surf did a lot, so I think I don't want to stay in here. I can always set up a little bit later. I kind of spooked myself into Zen Headbutt being a bring against my team, so I will just go out into my Iron Crown. And I think I have to use Crown to take down... I have to use Crown to take down the 𝙒𝘼𝙆𝙀, most likely. And then use my Crook to deal with the Azelf. Because it should still do a lot of damage. with like Scale Shot into Knockoff, I think would do enough at this point from Crook, but yeah, he is going to Terra. I thought he might, just to get the Terra Blast damage off, and I don't want any part of that. So show me the Terra Blast. If he just goes for Surf, I'll be like slightly sad. Yeah, there's a Terra Blast. Okay. Yeah, I did think there was a chance, because it would have done enough damage to put me in range of other stuff, and yeah, I wasn't feeling that. So I will just go... How free is Tachyon? Tachyon is actually really free right now, so I'm just going to go for the Tachyon. If you're just max speed, you will outspeed me, but I think you should be enough to outspeed Wake at +2 if Wake is +1. If this is Shell Smash. If it's not Shell Smash, there's no reason, I don't think, for it to be faster. But he's going to switch out. I think he dies to the Spike. Just going to go into Bronzong. Tachyon does actually do a pretty good amount of damage. Are you Citrus? Do we see a Citrus? Is that why you didn't have lefties? No. I still need the health on this, simply for the Mian Xiao. I think how I play this is I've got to let him take the Walking Wake, probably with Mian Xiao, if I had to guess. And then I'll have to try and end game like with my AV mons, like I said. So I go into Wake here because it resists most things. If it's Iron Defense Rest, then it could be a problem. Outside of that, I don't think it will be. Just Iron Heads. I do actually have enough to sub, so I might as well go for it. Yeah. Because unless you're Psychic Noise, in which case you kill me here anyway, just Psychic. Would that break a sub? It might break a sub, actually. I'm physically defensive, not specially defensive. It doesn't break a sub, you love that. Go for a Waterfall. Hopefully pick up the kill here. We are very, very weak. So, maybe not. Yeah, I was going to say. Maybe we maybe 2 Psychics doesn't break it? Ah, tough. What does this potentially leave me open to? Nasty Plot Azelf. If I want to protect against that, I can just go back out into you. I mean, you haven't shown a move that can actually do damage. Yeah, just Psychics. It's going to do all about 2. I actually looked away for a second. I don't know if the HP bar genuinely have no idea if it moved. He can't Terra now as well, so yeah, I think this puts the game in a pretty good spot. He is going to withdraw. Okay. What are you sacking here? Because everything's dying to spikes. I mean, this is not going to appreciate the hit. I can tell you that much for certain. And this time I will just stay in and claim my kill on you. Because you're the only thing that's realistically causing me many issues at this point. I mean, it could be physical as Elf, but I think I still have the necessary mons to be able to deal with it. Iron Thorns, by the way, might just pick up 2 kills in this game. Simply because of spikes, which is hilarious. Psyshock is going to pick up the KO. And now the only thing that's alive that's of any kind of threat to me is Azelf. I think the other mons die to spikes. One doesn't die to spikes. Maybe there's a mon that doesn't. You're Terra Fire, so you're going for the Flamethrower. Now, I don't believe that I could lose from here, but there's a world. I'm not going to say there's no world in which I don't have issues from here. But does Flamethrower, it's not going to do a lot. I can just click knock off. I still have like my Cust app, if needs be, on the Iron Thorns. Like, there's still plenty of things. I don't think this Azelf can take me out if it's just fully special, which that kind of looks like it might well be, doing that much of a Flamethrower. Then yeah, this mon can't do enough. And I do believe the other mons are just dead. So as much as I would love to have Scale Shot just to show the tech, I feel like it may have been a potential throw should this have moves that can actually do significant damage to me. It's going to Endure. Are you Weakness Policy? You're a Custard Berry. I mean, sadly that doesn't matter, but I appreciate the tech. Gleam does a good amount, but because we're AV, that's a crit as well. Because we're AV, we're going to take the hit just fine. And yeah, Crook picks off the Azelf. We'll see whether or not either of the mons in the back can take this spike. I don't believe they can. Now, I did say before my opponent this wasn't going to be a 6-0, and I am somewhat keeping to my word here. You do live. I am going to go into Dogi. If you Terra Blast, it might... I don't think it kills me. Even if you Terra Blast, I don't think it will kill me. Regardless, you're going down to the poison right now. We are very weakened. He surfs. We are very weakened, so it's not like... Oh my god, that was a crit from Torrent as well. That was terrifying. And then there's just a Bronzong left, which I can Drain Punch anyway. Unless it's also Curse Stab. I'm still going to click the button. Like, I think it dies to Spike. Am I wrong? I am not wrong. Okay, so Iron Thorns picks up the last kill. And that is going to be a good game to Final Gambit Shedinja. 5-0 win to start off the season. I didn't 6-0. I did say I wouldn't 6-0. I genuinely thought that was going to be a very, very close game, and though it was a 5-0, it was way closer than a 5-0. A lot of my mons were reaching the end of their shelf life, we will say. And yeah, good game to my opponent. Make sure to go check them out. Link will be down in the description below. Like if you enjoyed the battle, subscribe, and until the next one, have a great day, guys. Peace.